That's great. So that is very much the intention behind the company. We're a performance-driven digital marketing firm, but really the impetus for the company is that I believe that the purpose of business is to do good in the world. And this is the vehicle that we have to do good in the world. So we provide great service to our clients, but mostly what we're doing is building fantastic relationships and delivering what they need and doing it in a way that hopefully enriches the people who work here and enriches the people with whom we work. You mentioned 3 of our 5 core values, and they're really the 3 that are the most unusual: helpfulness, generosity, and pursuing joy. And helpfulness and generosity really are the engines of our growth. They inform the way that we interact with one another and the way that we engage with clients. And they inform the way that we run the business. When I started the company 12 years ago, it was with the thesis that people are much better than is conventionally held in business. I'd worked in large companies. I started in AT&T Wireless. I was a VP of sales and marketing there. And in that context, there's this professional persona that you're sort of implicitly encouraged to assume when you came to work. In a work context, you assume that work is competitive, combative, and mercenary. And if you're my competitor, I'm seeking advantage over you. You're seeking advantage over me. If you're my client or customer, we're using contracts to protect ourselves from one another. And there's an assumption in that that's implicit and not too subtle that you don't have my best interests at heart and I don't have your best interests at heart. So we need this piece of paper to make sure that we're not left to our base impulses and we don't do each other harm. And my experience in my personal life was not that. It's very rare for me to run into anybody who I actually think is not a kind or helpful or good person. In my day-to-day life, that's how I behave toward other people when I'm at my best, and that's how other people behave toward me. So Wheelhouse was sort of a bet that if you build business relationships, and in doing so, you assume the best of the people with whom you're working, and you sort of remind them that we're just people, and we happen to be the people we are in a business context, that they'll rise to the occasion, and you can have a healthier working relationship. So we're helpful even when our helpfulness isn't included in a contract.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Let me interrupt you because I've already got 2 questions, and I'm a big body, small brain type of guy. That's why my brother described me like a dinosaur. So if I don't ask the questions, they'll be gone. So first of all, I want to make a comment that when you talk about competitors and competitiveness, decades ago, I read, I think it was a Harvard Business Review study or something, and it compared 2 companies in the convenience store industry. It was Wawa. And was it Quick Trip? I think Quick Trip was the other one. Mm-hmm. And they had like a turnover rate of 12 to 18%, whereas the industry standard was anywhere from 125% to 300% in a year for employee turnover. And one of the attributes of the study that was very interesting was these 2 companies doing the same type of business. They were not geographically competitive, and they were friends. The leaders, they were like, hey, you're not my space. I can be friends. And
right.
Yeah, really powerful for each of them, I think.
Yeah. That's certainly been my experience. And it's also, I think, more to the point, my experience that my clients aren't out to take advantage of me and my employees aren't out to take advantage of me. And if you sort of jettison that assumption and you think the best of people, almost without exception, people rise to the occasion. And if you say explicitly, which we do to every new client, listen, we're going to be generous with our time and resources. If you could ask us for help in any area, even if we're not contracted to do the work, we're probably going to do work that you're not going to explicitly pay us for. And that's okay. We'll look out for your best interests, but we're going to rely on you to look out for our best interests. In nearly every instance, people do. We have clients who call us and say, we really need to be paying you. You're doing this other work that we didn't really consider when we set up this agreement. And that is such a better dynamic and a healthier working relationship than us being in the mode of sending change requests or new proposals constantly to clients, which is the conventional mode for an agency.